Well, a very good afternoon to you from a very sunny and breezy day here across central Scotland here in Lennoxtown. Looking south here, and the skies are hazy but clear and very warm as well. Temperatures right around 76 degrees, which is around about the 24.8 Celsius range at the moment. But that easterly breeze is actually keeping the temperature slightly pegged back from what was seen back yesterday. We've seen a high here at the house of 81 degrees, which warmest in a few years, and it's the warmest ever since my wife and I have lived here in Lennoxtown. But the warm weather continues, and like I say, we've got a pretty stiff easterly breeze blowing, and that really is pegging back the temperatures, especially across the east coast and eastern areas, even slightly inland. We're seeing temperatures down around 21 or 22 Celsius, but certainly if you go west and especially over some of the mountains and hills, we're seeing dramatic temperature rises this afternoon. We've already seen a report of 28.3 Celsius at Kinlochway in the northwest Highlands. Now that's actually near the coast, and even across parts of Ayrshire and down through Wales, we're seeing temperatures into the 28 to 29 Celsius range. And you're saying to yourself, how's it that warm so close to the coast? Well, it's all thanks to that wind blowing across the warm land. And as you've got winds blowing downsloping some of these hills, the heating is enhanced. And that is the reason why we're actually seeing the warmest temperatures so far this warm spell during the course of today, despite that easterly wind. Now, it has been forecasted that I did believe we would see a temperature of 29 across the south, 28 across parts of Scotland, and it certainly has materialised by the looks of it, even around 29. It wouldn't surprise me if somewhere hits 29, either in Wales or in England this afternoon. But we've certainly got upwards of 28 Celsius across parts of Scotland as well. So I'm quite happy the forecast is justified, and I'm even happier to say that we are going to continue to see this glorious warm weather all the way through till probably Tuesday of next week, would you believe? Now, here in the UK, we quite often see these warm spells come in and basically leave as fast as they arrive, generally 3 or 4 days if we're lucky, but this warm spell certainly is lasting quite well. We started to see the first 70s here in Lennoxtown back on Tuesday of last week, and it certainly looks as if we're going to continue to hold on to those 70-degree highs right through till at least Monday. By midweek, we are going to start to see a change, and sorry, I just bumped my head. I'm going to show you here off the ECMWF chart the current setup and what I'm seeing here in towards next week. Now, like I said to you, we're going to continue to hold on to this warm sunny weather, and it's all thanks to this area of high pressure, this strong area of high pressure. And of course, like I've said to you for the past several days now, the stronger that ridge of high pressure is, folks, the warmer the temperatures can be. And of course, if you've got a wind direction that's blowing in a favourable direction, you've also got enhancement of that wind. And like I said to you, we've seen temperatures today, the warmest values of the whole warm spell this week has been actually right up across the northwest corner of Scotland, up in Kinlochway at over 28 Celsius today. We're also seeing a few 28 showing up, even in, I think it's Pembrey Sands on the west coast of Wales. We're seeing upwards of 28 Celsius, and even I believe on Mumble's Head in Cumbria, one of the coastal areas, St Bees Head, sorry, I believe it's at least 27 this afternoon. That's all thanks to those winds blowing across the fells this afternoon, downsloping the west side of those fells, and we're seeing that enhancement of warming, because as that air travels over top of these hills and downslopes the other side, it then it actually dries the air out, and it basically I'm trying to find the right word to use. It compresses the air, and therefore through compression it warms the air further than it already is. But we've got beautiful high pressure continuing in control. This feature here, folks, is this little upper level low, this trough. That is going to be the game changer by the early part of next week. So as I scroll through, Saturday, high pressure firmly established, Saturday and then the Sunday, no changes really. We're continuing to see temperatures rise into the low to mid 20s right through this period and across the majority of the country. The only exception would maybe be eastern coastal areas. We're going to continue to see those easterly winds, especially it's going to be quite blustery, I believe, across the south of England today, later today and into tomorrow. Through the night you'll notice that wind whistling through the trees as well, and that is going to peg back the temperature. It's going to keep the temperature slightly cooler tonight, so it's going to be a little easier for sleeping. It certainly was quite a warm night last night. I was I started my work at 1 a.m. and I got away with wearing a t-shirt throughout the course of tonight, the overnight, and it certainly was nice, and it was quite nice to feel that warmth of the air during the overnight hours. But it certainly felt that kind of a little bit muggy as well, because you've got that air that's coming up from the southwest, and that's a quite a humid direction of air. By Sunday and into Monday, you can see the changes taking place. You've got that slight high pressure remains dominant across the majority of the UK. Notice Ireland, no. We're starting to see lower heights. We're going to see an introduction of cloud cover, even some showers as well developing, and temperatures peg back to the high teens. So it's not going to be a chilly blast of air coming. It's going to be a pegging back of what we've seen mid 20s at least across parts of Ulster down through the Republic today as well. We're probably seeing a 26, even a 27 across parts down towards the Cork area, I would imagine, this afternoon. But that system here is actually going to dent those heights aloft, introduce cloud cover and some showers. By Tuesday, you can see here heights overall start to lower, and therefore we're going to see a more widespread cool down. Temperatures back down towards perhaps 18 or 19 for Glasgow, Edinburgh, southwards through Manchester, even in the Birmingham we might see temperatures down towards the 21 mark as opposed to the high 20s that we're going to be seeing today, and we're going to be seeing Saturday through Sunday and into Monday. We're going to continue to hold on to those low and mid 20s. So the warm spell is going to continue for the next 72 hours at least. Tuesday and into Wednesday here, what's a few interesting features? Going as that little upper low, it's become more, it's merged with a larger area of troughiness over the North Atlantic. That will back west. As it does so, notice here the heights are quite strong here to the south of this trough. Notice the orange is showing up. It's worth paying attention to the fact that we're going to start to see high pressure trying to form once again and move. As that trough basically works westwards, it's going to open the door to these building heights, and that high pressure is going to follow the path of least resistance. We've got a trough here, very chilly air working its way through northern Scandinavia, but we're going to have this opening here. As that system merges with the larger upper trough, it's going to then allow high pressure and this warm air from the subtropics back towards the UK. But I notice the latest run here has that ridge slightly further west. By Thursday, you can see the heights starting to build. Check out that high. Look at how the oranges are starting to push west of Ireland now. What's interesting is the fact that the high is slightly further west than it was yesterday. So it might chop and change. It might shift west. It might shift east. My ideas at the moment are that I think this ridge might push slightly further east. I do think we're going to get back into the warmer air. We're going to have a reprieve Tuesday and Wednesday. Then by Thursday, that trough starts to work back west. That will allow that ridge to then push northwards. And it's really a question as to whether the position of the high, whether we start to see those temperatures rise back into the mid and even upper 20s. Now by Thursday and into Friday, you can see here the ridge of high pressure. Check this out. You can see that here. The orientation of that ridge is slightly further west than what you would want to see here for very warm conditions. We actually would stay relatively in between that trough here, digging through Scandinavia, introducing that chill down there, and as well as that, we're going to be seeing the bulk and the core of this heat slightly further west, parts of Ireland, however, if that was to materialise here, which it will chop and change, we're talking quite a bit out from the current stage here, but if that was to materialise, Ireland would actually be more favourable for some significant warmth. Friday and into Saturday, you can see here the ridge basically sitting just west of the UK, and we've got the strongest heights remaining offshore to the west of Ireland. Notice here the trough here, though, it actually digs all the way across the majority of Central and Western Europe. That would introduce a much fresher change as composed to what we're seeing just now. Check out the reds and the oranges showing up again in Spain. It's that time of year, folks. We're knocking on the door of June. We're going to be continuing to see Spain and southern areas heat up. Notice here it could be quite unsettled here if this was to materialise, but things are going to chop and change, folks. I still believe that after we see this little 48-hour window of cooler, more slightly unsettled weather, if you can call it that, we're going to see a return to warmer conditions. But this warmth that we've seen now for the course of the whole week will continue into the early part of next week before the change. So if you're off over the course of the weekend, get out there, enjoy it, have some barbecues, spend some nice time walking around some parks, enjoy it while it lasts, folks, because it can change. Some long-range forecast models are hinting at a cooler June, so let's hope this isn't our summer. I doubt that very much, but who knows in the world of weather. Hope you have a terrific evening, folks, and a great weekend ahead. Bye for now.